13 facts about
Despite only
Muzan?
seeing him
Okay.
a couple of times in the anime, we
This could be
already know
interesting.
Muzan has enough power to control almost all demons and make them tremble in fear only with his
True,
presence.
true.
And
Maybe.
this is just the tip of the iceberg of who he is and what he can do. Here are 13 facts
Muzan's
about
got pretty
Muzan
good-
Kibutsuji, leader
cool
of
powers.
demons. 1. The Demon King was born as an extremely weak human. His heart stopped multiple times in his mother's womb, and he was declared dead right after birth. Then, just when he was about to be cremated, he came back to life and cried for the first time. Despite surviving, he wasn't supposed to live long, but a doctor gave him an experimental medicine to try. At first, it seemed as if it hadn't
Experimental.
worked, which enraged Muzan and led him to kill his doctor. But right after that, he started to notice the effects of the medicine. He was no longer weak, yet he couldn't walk in the sunlight and had the urge to consume human
I
flesh.
wonder why.
Reminds me a little of Rui, who was also born
Oh,
weak
true.
and had to deal
Oh,
with it
true.
during his childhood until he became a demon. And Gyutaro's story is not that different either. He
Yeah.
suffered in his early years thanks to his mother's illness repercussions on his appearance. Could this just be a coincidence? 2. Did
They're
you
definitely
know
quite
that
similar.
Muzan can absorb the body of anyone who touches him?
no, that's
By doing
messed up.
this, he can absorb their memories and even demons' abilities. 3. We have never seen Muzan hesitate to kill
That
someone
episode
throughout
was
the show,
so messed
but
up.
he has someone he regrets killing, his doctor. After noticing his health improvement, he realized if he had been more patient, the doctor would have cured him completely, saving him of this issue with daylight and centuries of effort trying to solve it. Not only that, but
I
the
feel like he's got so many regrets right now because of that. If he didn't kill him in rage.
doctor was the only person
Could have
who
helped
knew
him.
where to find the blue spider lily. 4. Now, you may wonder, what is the blue spider lily and why is Muzan so obsessed about a flower? Well, it is the flower that the doctor used in his experimental medicine. And it seems that if he gets more of it, he will be able to walk freely under the sun. 5. His obsession with being immune to sunlight comes from his human past life, which made him develop a strong fear of death and illness. Currently, the sun is his only weakness, and that's why he wants to get rid of it. He's not looking for world domination or anything like that. He really just wants to be perfect and immortal. We can easily notice his fear in the first season in the alley in
He's
Asakusa.
pretty evil
a drunk
too, you
guy
know?
and his friends started mocking Muzan about how pale and close to death he looked. He didn't think twice about killing the drunk guy and his brother once the former referred
Yep.
to his dead-like appearance. He then gave the drunk guy's girlfriend a speech about how he can't be further from death, and that, on the contrary, he is getting closer to perfection. Right
That's
after
where he
that,
killed her
he
too, yeah.
injected a constant stream of his blood into the woman's body, making her cells melt. So yeah, you can tell he is slightly annoyed by the idea of sickness and death. 6. Muzan is the only one truly capable of turning a human into a demon, and the reason he turns them is actually linked to his urge to overcome the sun. It all began as his shot in the dark to create by chance a demon immune to sunlight that he could
That would
devour
be so
and
strong.
gain this ability from, making him truly immortal and basically
Because
invincible.
if you think about it, the only like weakness to demons is the sun. And if you like overcome that, that's, unless you face like a high level Hashira or something like that, then there's nothing really stopping you, you know?
After many unsuccessful years,
And you don't have to
Muzan
hide.
created the 12 Kizuki, a group that reunited the strongest demons, second only to Muzan. He gave these 12 demons 2 main missions. 1. To find the blue spider lily, and 2. To dismantle the entire Demon Slayer core. But of course, it has been more than a century, and they haven't accomplished any of these. So, for now, they also work as his loyal servants, doing whatever he asks them to do.
I mean, and that's why
like
he snapped.
hunting a 15-year-old with earrings. 7.
Yeah, I
of
guess.
course, being a member of this select group comes with some privileges. For
That's why he snapped and like he killed off the bottom like 5, right? Or the lower 6, what is it?
example,
Lower 5.
Muzan's blood not only turns people into demons, but the amount of his blood that someone can handle in their body is strictly related to how strong and powerful they are. Meaning that these 12 demons are the ones who have managed to get the highest amount of his blood among all demons. Not only that, but they can also work as a kind of filter for humans to be indirectly transformed by Muzan. This was the case of Daki and Gyutaro when they met Doma, and he told them he would give them blood so they could turn into demons, but only if he chose them. 8. Muzan has also shown to have his favorites from time to time. I would say that some of them were
I wonder why.
Kokushibo, Gyutaro, Rui, and Akaza. Kokushibo is his strongest demon, so he must be at least considered very useful from Muzan's perspective. I believe he also saw Gyutaro in this pragmatic way, letting him share the upper 6th rank with his sister, cause I don't really think he saw it as a tie between these siblings. Like, the girl was beheaded multiple times by a Hashira, and 3 boys in rank Konoe, which is not even the half-best rank of the Demon Slayer Corps. Muzan obviously let this happen to have control over Gyutaro through his beloved sister, meaning he cared enough about having Gyutaro on his side to make this exception. Rui and Akaza also managed to have permissions that not every demon has. Akaza refused to eat women.
I always feel bad for Rui. He had such a sad story. Like,
missions that not every demon has. Akaza refused to eat women, which Muzan approved, and Rui was allowed to create his fake family, despite Muzan's rule against demons teaming up, just in case they turned against him. 9. We have seen Muzan take many forms,
That's a
from Michael Jackson to a woman, and also a little kid.
Yeah.
But did you know that he can grow to the point he gets as big as 3 buildings? You will eventually know why or when he does this. Just wait for it. 10. Even though we see Muzan wearing clothing that the King of Pop would wear, he was born in the Heian period, which goes from around 794 to the year 1185. We find through Urokodaki that he is over 1,000 years old. And considering that the show takes place in the Taisho era, which is between 1912 and 1926, Muzan had to be born at least in the 9th century. 11. Do you remember when Tanjiro found Muzan in the city and he had a wife and daughter? He became this woman's boyfriend after killing her husband. At first, he considered pretending to be him, but then he chose not to, since it would be weird if her husband
that explains it.
decided...
I was wondering. That was such a, like, I thought it was actually his child, but the guy just killed the...
to avoid sunlight at all costs. So, he just presented himself as someone else, and became her busy boyfriend, who could only be with her by night. This is not the first relationship he has had in these 1,000 years, though. It has been said that he has been married 5 times. But by being such a wonderful husband, all of them ended up committing suicide thanks to his verbal abuse. Regarding the supposed wife and daughter we see in the anime, we don't know what happened to them. But nobody would be surprised if Muzan decided to kill them. 12. Have you noticed how similar Kagaya Ubayashiki and Muzan look?
That's what I've always, like, when watching the anime, that's always bothered me a little bit. They look so similar.
Well,
I thought they're brothers or something.
It turns out they are from the same family bloodline. In fact, that's the cause of Kaguya's illness. His health condition is actually a curse that the family got thanks to being the ones who brought the first demon to life. This disease makes them lose strength and produces this kind of rotten look on the skin. It also shortens their lifespan to the point that the longest a man in his family has lived is 30 years. This is why the family has dedicated their entire existence to killing Muzan. So far, the only family that wasn't hella toxic was Tanjiro's, and most of them are dead. It seems like Kotsuuge is not a fan of characters with loving families that are still alive. 13. The Demon King has a very particular anatomy. It turns out he has 7 hearts and 5 brains. These play an essential part in his impressive performance. We've already talked about how Muzan can change his appearance and size at will, but I think this goes way beyond imagination when thinking about it. Where do you even put that number of organs inside a human-ish body? In the only image referring to this aspect of Muzan's constitution.
He's got a stomach. He's got a brain in his stomach. Hearts in his, like, biceps.
You don't see all the hearts and brains he has. I've seen some theories out there, but where do you think he has them?
Yeah, where'd you guys
Muzan has an absurd amount of power, but has to let it get to his head just a little too much. I truly believe he could be a little nicer with his subordinates, but that's just me. What do you think?